Gerwen by 6 legs to 2, and in doing so ends Van Gerwen's Premier League campaign. It's the second time the Green Machine has not made it through to the finals night. Mark Wilson here alongside Laura Turner. Laura, the Asp pretty much in control from start to finish, deservedly wraps up a spot in the top 4. The only question now remains is where will he finish in the top 4?
Well, that is the question, isn't it, indeed? And there's still more potential jostling going on, but I know these players, they all seem to want to avoid Luke Littler in that first semi-final. I wonder why, because what we saw from him in that opening match was absolutely outstanding tonight. So that will still be the goal for most of these players, but I think for Nathan Aspinall, that was the one. That was the main thing. He secured that place at the O2. Yes, he's made it through to Premier League final before, but it was behind closed doors. So now he gets to stand up in front of a 20,000, a crowd and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, he does indeed. So Luke Littler will take on Nathan Aspinall in our opening semi-final later on tonight. Still to come, the bottom half of the draw. Luke Humphries, runner-up to Luke Littler in the Premier League last year, takes on Rob Cross, the 2019 Premier League runner-up. And Gerwyn Price takes on Chris Dobey. That Price game now, he has to beat Dobey to jump back in front of Nathan Aspinall. So still plenty to play for tonight. Luke Humphries, who's reached 7 nightly finals. He's won 3 of them, lost 4 of them. He's qualified in second spot. He will take on whoever finishes third in the table. I think it's fair to say, Laura, Rob Cross has had a campaign to forget, hasn't he? Just 7 wins, not reached a final throughout the Premier League.
I agree. It's a strange one because actually, if you look at some of the individual performances he's had, he's got 2 of the top averages out of the top 10 in a field that's dominated by the 2 Lukes. Rob Cross is the only other player to have those big averages. I think he's had 111 where he beat Luke Humphries. He had 110 losing average as well. He has had, we've seen golden moments from the 9 darter in Brighton, but hasn't been able to string together more than 1 match basically because we've not seen him in any finals.
No, we haven't indeed. For Luke Humphries, he's been he's been consistent, has he, throughout this tournament. Runner-up last year. Given everything that he's won over the last 2-3 years, the Premier League title's got to be high on his agenda, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's high on absolutely everyone's. And I mean, Luke Humphries, obviously, he's kind of played second fiddle ever since the emergence of Luke Littler. I think even when Luke Humphries lifted up the world title, everyone was still talking about Luke Littler. So for Humphries, this is the one. He wants to take that title off of him because Luke Littler took the world title off of Luke Humphries.
Yeah, he did indeed. This is their 4th meeting. Humphries has won 2 of the 3. You mentioned that electric 111 average from Rob Cross when he beat Humphries 6-4. That was way back in week 5 when you rightly said Rob Cross did hit a 9 darter like that as well. So they have got recent history between the 2. Rob Cross, a little bit in different form, hasn't he, for the last... He's dropped out of the top 4 now, of course, and that, moving forward, that's got to be a target of his. Not only to win something soon, but to get that top 4 seed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's just dropped down. I think he's in 6th place at the moment on the table, Rob Cross. But you can kind of sum everything up. If you look at how his positions in the Premier League, he's been from every position from 4th to 7th. Purely because Bunting kind of held on to that bottom spot for so long, but just hasn't found that extra gear, and you're probably seeing that a little bit away from Premier League as well now.
Yeah, you are indeed. You are listening to the Premier League Darts live on TalkSport 2 in partnership with Village Hotels. Dine out, stay, work out and play. Visit villagehotels.com for more information. Welcome along on the TalkSport Darts YouTube page as well. Good evening. It's Mark Laura and Chris Mason with you throughout the night. Don't forget, next Thursday, the team will be live at the O2. They will be in the building for the Premier League playoffs that we know now will contain Littler and Humphries will take either Price or Aspinall. That order will be determined shortly. Right, we need to get back to John McDonald, who's on the stage right now, about to introduce our third quarter-final.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands joining us live, and the millions joining us around the world, it's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 former Premier League finalists collide. Firstly, would you 2 European Championships, 5 World Series titles. Ladies and gentlemen, the former World Match Play champion and the former champion of the world, Voltage, Rob.
Money to be taken.
Yeah, there is indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the world number 1, the reigning World Matchplay champion, the reigning World Cup champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the former champion of the world, Coolhane Luke
Humphries looking nice and relaxed as he makes his way onto the stage. A winner in Leeds a couple of weeks ago when he beat Luke Littler in the final that night. That was his 3rd nightly win. He's been in 7 of the 15 finals, and you're hoping to make it 8 out of 16. That'll be some record. Can he get the victory here? He's onto the stage. The pyrotechnics going off. Rob Cross waiting patiently. Which way do you think this one's going to go, Laura?
Yeah, I'm finding it really hard to see past Luke Humphries. If he was relaxed last week and we see something similar, then this could be all over. But we know the levels that Rob Cross has got. But as you mentioned earlier, just those last few weeks, especially on the Premier League, with Rob Cross, he just hasn't been up to par in terms of performance levels. And Luke just looks absolutely so chilled out, so relaxed, interacting with the crowd. Rob, not quite so comfortable up on the stage.
No, well, they are getting ready. Coolhane Luke leading the crowd in song. It's been a great event, hasn't the Premier League? Sold out everywhere they've been. Great atmosphere between the players on the stage, the fans off it as well. And it'll all come to a culmination next week, live on TalkSport and the TalkSport Darts YouTube channel at the O2 in London. Can't wait already, but like I said, small matter of £10,000 and the nightly title up for grabs. Winner of this one will take on the winner of the 4th quarter-final, Gerwyn Price against Chris Dobey. Gerwyn Price knowing he needs a win to jump back above Nathan Aspinall into 3rd on the Premier League table. So it's Coolhane against Voltage in the 3rd quarter-final. I mentioned there that it comes down to 6 provisionally, 34 years old. Rob Cross, and been a really poor campaign by his standards, but certainly not been anything but poor for Luke Humphries. And well, you'd be hard pushed, I think, at the minute to bet against a Luke final, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I think most people would probably say the same thing. I mean, it's no surprise when other players do get the better of the 2 Lukes, but just the levels that they've shown, especially over the last few weeks since they've known that they've pretty much secured a place at the O2. They've just been able to relax, play with that little bit of freedom, and we've seen some of the best darts. I mean, Aberdeen last week was absolutely outrageous in terms of how Luke Littler and Luke Humphries played, and I'm hoping to see more of the same.
Yeah, certainly are. So Rob Cross then will have the throw, race to 6, as always, for a spot in the next round of the Premier League. And Rob Cross is looking to open up with a max, and he will open up with a max. Some start that from Voltage.
Perfect start from Rob Cross, and no real response there for Luke Humphries, just 40 points scored. Rob Cross he's quite a methodical player in terms of his approach, and yeah, that next start just pulled into a big one, and that sums up Rob Cross's Premier League campaign. Kicks off with a 180 and backs it up with 21.
Yeah, he gave himself a round of applause for that 21 as well. He saw the funny side of it. But yeah, I think in a nutshell, that has been Rob, hasn't it? Hit or miss at the moment. And again, a dart dragged wildly into single 1. Single 19 is followed by a single 18. So Cross, despite that magnificent 180 start, is just running round the board at the moment. Humphries won't be flustered. Steady ton for him And he's only 3 points in arrears after 3 visits each.
Humphries just slowly chipping away on that big score, but Cross back in the treble 20 bed, and again. Well, it's all or nothing so far from Rob Cross. Second maximum of the match, both coming in the first leg. 82 points still left.
Yeah, boom or bust, isn't it, for Cross at the minute? Can he tidy up the 82? Well, he's got 2 visits at it, because Humphries has left himself on 180, which he can't, of course, take out. Well, that was a wild first start, but that's a better. It's treble 18. Now he's looking at double 10, and it gets there in the end. Rob Cross 82, not the route he imagined, but he gets there in 3. And it's a nice 12-dart holder throw to kick off the game. Rob Cross leads 1-0.
Yeah, make sense of that what you will, but it is a leg on the board for Rob Cross. It is a hold of throw, and as you say, Luke Humphries won't be panicking about it yet, but Cross back in the treble 20. Seems to be almost a first dart merchant at the moment.
Yeah, like I said, when that first one goes where he wants, he's generally following it in. Humphries struggling at the moment. Only 45 after his opening 60, so big advantage here for Cross, who's in front, and he's at the hockey now, and a chance to really put some weight on the Humphries throw. 80 scored with 2. Well, Tunn's okay. There's a good visit in front here.
Yeah, he's wrestled away that advantage of throw from Luke Humphries. Again, Luke Humphries unable to find a treble. So Luke Humphries 337, Rob Cross 269.
Live on TalkSport 2 and on the TalkSport Darts YouTube channel. If you're on there, please like and subscribe. Cross is looking for another maximum. Not quite, but 140 gets him down to 129. And Humphries on throw is on 337. And he can't get a max, so he's not leaving a finish here. 99 scored, so Humphries is just struggling with his scoring at the moment.
Not quite what we're used to seeing from him. Cross now, 110 required. Just goes high, so looking to set up because Luke Humphries still not on a finish. 238 plays 36.
Yeah, Cross leaves double 18, knowing he'll be back. He'll be back with no pressure on him whatsoever here. This has been a really slow start. Well, Cross for a 2-0 lead needs 2 18s. And 2 18s he gets. It's been an impressive night on the finishing front. And more fine finishing this time from Cross, who leads 2-0.
Yeah, 2 from 2 on the doubles for Rob Cross. And because of that issue that Luke Humphries has at the moment when it comes to scoring, I mean, the disparity in the average. I mean, when was the last time you saw Humphries hitting a 71 average, but Cross just around 102.5, so Cross just taking full advantage.
And I'm sure those two will close quite considerably before the night is over. Cross is in the red bit again here. With 58, follows that up. 87. Disappointing after that first start. He's down to 3-5-6. Humphries against the throw 4-1. Now he's in the red bit. And again, this looks destined for a max, and there's Humphries' first max of the night.
Just looked like he threw that with so much more rhythm and positivity, much more inclined to what we're used to seeing from him.
Certainly is.
93.
Visit from Cross, but he's lost the darts here, and Humphries is in the red bit again, looking for another max, but 140 takes him down to 81.
Yeah, something's just woken up in Luke Humphries. Cross back on 236, just looking to tee something up, but single 20, single 19, and another single 19, so Humphries 6 from here.
Yeah, 81 needed. And he's just going to set things up to leave double 16, knowing he'll be back for his opening leg and a leg against the Cross throw. Cross on 205. All of a sudden it just feels that the tide is starting to turn ever so slightly here. Double 16 for 2-1. Just on the outside. And again, there's a wall. Can he bounce it off the wall? No, he can't. The wall stops him getting in, and we'll be early to see Cross is only on 146.
Humphries will be disappointed. He's had 6 darts to 81. He's on 32, but Cross can only locate the single 7. Backs up with a single 20. Finds the ball last dart, but More chances here for Humphries.
Let me start double 16, but finally at the 5th time of asking, Humphries is on the board, and it is 2-1. And Humphries has the throw in this next leg, the 4th leg. Plenty of live sport to come across the weekend. Saturday we've got the Championship playoff final exclusively live on the TalkSport network, on TalkSport. Adrian Durham, Sam Adderface, Darren Benton, Ian Holloway, our team at Wembley, as Sheffield United take on Sunderland for a place in the Premier League. You'll hear that live, and all the other playoff finals live and only live on the TalkSport network. Sunday sees Charlton against Leyton Orient, and on Bank Holiday Monday it's Walsall and Wimbledon in the League Two playoff final. Ian Danter and the former Scotland striker Chris Owellamo, our team at Wembley for that one. Right, Humphries is already down to 2-2-1. Cross is on 4-4-1. He's at the hockey now, but doesn't really summon up anything. 57 scored, so advantage Humphries as he looks to level up.
Just feels like a complete game of two halves so far. Cross dominated those opening 2 legs, and Humphries couldn't find anything, and the roles have completely reversed as Humphries now on 81 with Cross back on 384.
Yeah, look, I think Humphries loses a couple of legs. He doesn't get flustered anymore. He just keeps playing his game. We saw that average of 71. We should have taken a photo of it because we're not going to see it too many times, are we? Let's be honest. And here he's going to hit 20 for tops. He'll be back for tops and 2-2. He was crosses on 2-4-4. He'll do well to leave a finish from here. Humphries just looks nonplussed at the moment. He just looks like he's going about his work, not a care in the world at the moment. And only 44 for Cross, so Humphries has got all the time in the world at tops. Right above the top wire, bends the wire. That one's deflected away. Now what can he see? The answer, enough of it. It's 2-2.
Cross feels like he's gone from cruise control to now just tightening up ever so much. He's really battling to get back into this match. I know it's 2 apiece. And that score of 1-3-3 to kick off leg 5. Just go some way for Rob Cross.
Indeed. Sunday, of course, is the final day of the Premier League, and the battle for the Premier League football and those Champions League places will go down to the wire. We'll have it all covered for you across the TalkSport network. It's Premier League darts we're interested in tonight, and next Thursday night we'll be live at the O2 for that one. Humphries on 4-1-6, Cross on 2-3-3, but Humphries looking for a max, comes up just a couple of mil short, and it's a 140. He's 43 in arrears. Cross at the hockey, 2-2 race to 6.
Well, last week in Aberdeen, both bowled out in the quarter-finals, but that just has been a bit of a theme for Rob Cross. Quarter-finals, semi-finals, just hasn't been able to make it through. And there's another max from Luke Humphries. Humphries on 96, but it's Cross stepping up to the hockey for 99.
Yeah, not the easiest finish this. And there's single 19. Will it be tops? No, he's going the 16 route. To be truthful, he's nowhere near the treble there. That was a pretty ordinary dart. Humphries 96. Right in the middle of the treble 20. And right in the double 18. 3 on the spin for Humphries. He leads 3-2, having trailed 2-0.
If you think back to maybe some of the earlier games Luke Humphries played in the Premier League, it was kind of a reoccurring theme that he would kind of go like 2-3 legs behind and then just settle into it and then just reel off leg after leg to keep himself in the night. Doing something very similar here.
Yeah, he is indeed. He's flying at the moment. 1-3-6 to open up his leg. Cross 97. Humphries in the red bit again, right in the corner, but couldn't crowbar the second one in. 1-2-1 he'll take. And on throw here, about to go 4-2 in front. Winner of this one will take on either Gerwyn Price or Chris Dobey. Price, remember, down to 4th after Nathan Aspinall won his game against Michael Van Gerwen. That put Aspinall into the playoffs next week. Van Gerwen is out for the second time in Premier League history. He's not made the final 4. 44. Not really a surprise either, Laura, this year, I don't think.
No, absolutely not. And Michael put his hands up and say that, just hasn't been, in terms of performance, a very good year for him at the Premier League, and he just now needs to draw a line under it and kind of work out why it hasn't all clicked. Is it motivation? I still think he's motivated to win, but I just think he's brought up so many, players to his standard that now they're overtaking him.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of reasons why Van Gerwen is not hitting the heights, but you can't deny that the rise of Littler and Humphries has had a big part to play in that. Cross is on 107, but Humphries first in on a ton. Hits the treble again, needs tops for a fourth leg on the spin. Half an inch too high. Door open for Cross then.
Yeah, 107 required for Rob Cross, 11 up at 3 apiece. Single 19, so 88 left. Ops for treble 16 again and again. Nowhere near the target.
You'd have thought you were going for a safe single there. It's nowhere near the treble, it's nowhere near the double. That, however, is right in tops, and Humphries leads 4-2 live on TalkSport 2.
Just a couple of really big chances, and you can see the frustration from Rob Cross in the background because, as you say, the attempts at treble 16, we've seen it a couple of times, absolutely nowhere near where he's intending it to go.
Yeah, well, if you just missed, you can accept that, but that literally was in no man's land, and he's on the slide here. Crosson's up with 60, Humphries in with a ton. So you know the advantage to Luke Humphries, who has won the last 4. He was 2-0 down, remember. Cross opened up with 2 maximums in the opening leg. Not hit one since. It's a good 140. With a big crowd at Sheffield, be a bumper crowd next week at the O2. Going to be an electric atmosphere. We'll be there as well, live on TalkSport and on the TalkSport Darts YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe for that one.
Yeah, these venues, these last couple of years, the venues complete sellouts. I mean, I went to the O2 6-7 years ago, and there were still empty seats, and now you can't get them for love nor money. Well, you can if you're quick enough, I suppose.
Yeah, or you've got enough cash.
Yeah.
Or you know the right people, Laura. You might be able to get us a ticket. The guys won't need one. They'll be there next week working, of course. 176 Humphries, Cross 202. A full house, gets 140 to take him down to 62. Not a gimme, is it? 62.
It's not, and it's maybe a strange option to stay where he did, because if he hit the treble 20, he would have left double 11, which is, most players you'd probably be looking at a ball, but Bob felt like he wanted it. He felt like it would go in.
Well, single 10 leaves single 20 for double 16. This to halt the slide and get back within 1. Big dart, and he hits it. Credit where it's due. He's only had 3 darts at a double. He's hit them all, Rob Cross.
Yeah, it's not been the finishing, has it been the problem? It's actually just getting to the finish, because Luke Humphries, after those first couple of legs, really has woken up, but Rob Cross there just stopped Luke running away with it, because it was 4 consecutive legs for Humphries.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be overly perturbed, Luke Humphries. He's got the throw in this next leg, and they're both open up with a ton.
If you look at the body language of both players, Luke Humphries looks absolutely chilled out, relaxed, like he's throwing in his front room, whereas Rob Cross seems to be throwing everything, and that's why you're getting those stray darts, because he's tense. He's tensing up his arm, and he seems to be pulling him.
Yeah, well, he's in the red bit here. He'll be hoping that he can fill this up. Moves along the hockey, right in the middle of it. Come on, Rob. Not quite, but it's a good visit, and it puts him a dart a bit in front here on the Humphries throw. This could go level here. Humphries got to be careful. It's 2 treble 19s. He needed those as well.
For the likes of the two Lukes, they know where they're going to finish in the table. Obviously, Littler at top, Luke Humphries second. But for Rob Cross, there is still that carrot where he can just jump over Chris Dobey and then make Chris kind of play out the evening. If it's still an extra £5,000 on the line for those two.
Well, not only that, he hasn't even been to a final in this Premier League campaign. If I'd have said to you on night 1, how many wins do you think Rob Cross would get? If I'd have said 7, I think you would have laughed at me. But that's all he's got coming into this.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable statistic, really, when you think about the calibre of Rob Cross and some of the matches he's played as well. But now that is the reality of the Premier League.
Tough school, 16 for double 16 for a 5-3 lead for Humphries, and he's in the green bit, and he's 1 away from a place in the semi-finals.
Really has been one of those evenings where we've been treated to some really good finishing.
Indeed. Well, Cross was 2-0 to the good, but he's lost 5 of the last 6. He's a leg away from the end of what has been a pretty miserable campaign. Only he and Van Gerwen haven't won a nightly round. Van Gerwen has been in 2 finals. Cross, as I said, has not made a final all campaign, and that a staggering statistic.
You mentioned earlier, would I be surprised if about the 7 nightly wins. I think I might have actually been more surprised at the fact that Michael Van Gerwen hasn't won a week, because it's just unheard of since the new format.
Yeah, it's like a standing dish, isn't it? Humphries not really in this leg at the minute. He's on 380, Cross on 246 and at the hockey now. 57 scored, so even a max here for Humphries doesn't get him down to a finish, although he wouldn't mind taking out a max just to put a smidgen of pressure back on. Right on cue for Humphries.
Yeah, Humphries on 200, Cross on 189. Cross pulls that first one again into the single, but just well, treble 19 is found and backed up with another treble 19. That is a good recovery from Rob Cross.
Yeah, leaves him on 74. Humphries starts on 200, treble 5, treble 20, treble 20, gets him down to 65. This has got to go.
Yeah, when you see that first one from your opponent just go awry, and then they back it up with 2 trebles. But there's treble 18 for Rob Cross, double 10 required to go back within a leg. Yeah, and that's a well-thrown last start from Rob Cross. Checks out 74, and now we're at 5-4 with Luke Humphries throwing for the match.
Yeah, mentioned his finishing, Rob Cross. 82, 36, 62 and 74 his finishes. Been pretty tidy when he's had the chance, but he's going to have to break the throw here. Humphries in leg 10, leads 5-4, starts off with a ton. And Cross hits him back with a 1-3-4, so he's still not done yet, Rob Cross. And Humphries has just got to be careful here. And he hits back with a 140. Good standards from the world number 1.
The one thing I've always thought about Rob Cross, though, he's got that tenacity, hasn't he, not to ever really give up. You think he's out of a match, and then he can just find this other level, and there he backs up the opening score with a 187 after 6 starts for Cross.
Yeah, against the Humphries throw, but back comes Humphries. 140, thought that last one was in. He's on 121, it's not the worst outcome in the world. But what can Cross leave from 187? Single 20. No treble 19, and back up. Oh, that's a disastrous last start, single 4. So 1-2-1 for the match.
Treble 20 found, but the next one pulled into the ball, so had to just tee up, and a chance here for Rob Cross. 1-4-4 to level up at 5-all.
Yeah, he wanted the outer ball, he hit the bull. No good, too good. Cross 1-4-4, went the 18s route, doesn't find the treble. So Humphries is back for double 4 and a place in the semi-finals in Sheffield for a 6-4 win. Just on the outer wire, just inside. Maybe it's not done yet, it is now. Luke Humphries tied his things up. He went 2-0 down early on, but he reeled off 5 in 6 to move 5-3 on. Although Rob Cross won the 9th leg, Humphries stepped in. Job done. A miserable Premier League campaign for Rob Cross, whose now attentions must turn on improving that ranking, because if he doesn't, we might not see him in next year's Premier League.
No, I agree. He has slid down from when he was picked for the Premier League. Was 4th and now 6th, and there's just a lot to work on. There's a lot of good things that Rob Cross can take, but what he didn't get with enough wins, couldn't convert it, and it'll be disappointment for him. One probably would have liked to have signed off, just making a final. Didn't see it from him this time round, but we know Rob Cross, he's a positive person. I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Yeah, Luke Humphries, the winner, then averages 97.41 in beating Rob Cross. Luke Humphries averages 97, beating Rob Cross by 6 legs to 4. We now know our top 4. It will be Littler, Humphries, Aspinall and Price, but we don't know who will be 3rd and who will be 4th. We might have a better idea after our next match. Gerwyn Price takes on Chris Dobey in the 4th quarter final. Winner of that one will take on Luke Humphries here on TalkSport Turf. He's beaten Rob Cross by 6 legs to 4. When it comes to Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Among the fastest VPNs available on the market, NordVPN gives you a quick location change when you need it most. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Up next, it will be Gerwyn Price against Chris Dobey here on the TalkSport Darts YouTube channel.